Well, Canada continues to dominate at the Pan Am Games, leading the medal count with 97. One of the athletes who topped the podium is Genevieve Morrison. Last night, she won the first medal for Canada in wrestling at these games. She took home the gold in the women's freestyle 48-kilogram event. Joining us now to talk about her victory is Genevieve Morrison. Congratulations.
Thank you. And
so, take us back to that moment when you won gold.
Oh, relief. I was down to the crunch in the last few seconds and trying to hold on to that lead. I was leading 5-4 and, you know, the hometown crowd was nice and loud and they helped me hold on for dear life, and it was just such a cool feeling when it was all said and done. It was awesome.
Yeah, Genevieve, I should say. I have a habit of saying Genevieve, but how did you feel going into the match? How was your confidence level?
You know what? I felt pretty good. I wrestled her back in May, and I had a really good match with her. She actually made some really good adjustments this time around, and she shut me out a little bit more. But, you know, I was able to kind of maintain composure and got caught a little bit at the end there, and it was a bit too close for comfort on my end, but I'll take the W any day.
We just see you there patting your competitor. What is it like, the camaraderie?
You know what, like, you can't help but just have tremendous respect for your competitors. It's a tough sport, and no one knows the grind like as good as your competitor does, and so especially when it's a close match like that, and you know that they're really giving in their all. I don't know, it's just, there's just so much respect for the other person and what they leave out on the mat, win or lose, right?
Yeah. How much work do you put into a moment like this?
So much. Even my match with the US earlier that day was, I've had training partners mimicking her for weeks now, and we've been watching tape and really studying each opponent and being ready for, you know, their strengths, their weaknesses, and some opportunities that we can take. And so, you know, a lot of studying and a lot of preparation goes into it. And
preparing yourself too, right? Yeah. What would you say are your strengths?
You know what, I'm really tall for my weight class. I'm definitely, I think, one of the tallest in the world at my weight class, and so my length and my leverage is definitely my biggest asset. It makes me a little bit more unpredictable and a little bit trickier to wrestle, I think, for some of the people. And so, yeah, I think that just being a little bit different sometimes is a big asset.
Yeah, playing on those differences too, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so you work this hard, you get to this moment, and you win. How does it feel to do that in Canada?
So good. It's really something that you don't get to experience that much, you know, on this kind of stage with this kind of hype. You know, it's a real privilege to have just the stars line up and to be able to make the team on this particular year where we're hosting in Canada. My family's all from the Ottawa region, so I had a small village come out to watch me, and so they were allowed, and it was just such a gift to just be able to share that with them.
And what does that do, the power of the support in the audience?
In this case, I think it helped me win. Literally, like, I was holding on, and I could hear them count down the seconds, and there was a few matches where I was down to the wire, and just that extra little bit of energy is just the motivation you need, you know?
That's great. And so what are you hearing from people now?
People are just excited. It's amazing. Like, it's just been so neat to just, you know, Facebook is blowing up and so many emails. And so, you know, it's a lot of fun. We compete a lot, and I go through a lot of the highs and lows in my own competitions, but to be able to share such a high with so many people when everyone's watching, it's just so much fun.
And what would you say to Canadians watching you, taking this inspiration in?
Oh, just thank you. I would say thank you to all the Canadians and for all the support. And we even had some people give my parents some rides. They were kind of getting lost on the way to the venue, and people were like, oh, you need a ride? We'll give you a ride. And they took their lunch break and gave my family a ride. So it's just been awesome support. And so I'm just really appreciative of all the Canadians that have been so supportive.
Yeah, you're so humble too. I mean, you as a role model now, kids watching you. I mean, do you remember when you were a kid watching sporting events?
Yeah, and that, you know what, that was probably my favorite moment, right after the match, when I was kind of walking out to the mix zone to media and stuff. Like, along the way, there was some girls all 13, 14 years old, and I could tell they're like young wrestlers. They had the t-shirts and stuff, and it was just neat because that's the age that I started wrestling, and they're asking me for my autograph and for pictures and stuff, and it was just such a cool feeling, you know? So that was definitely the highlight.
Great, great. When you mention highs and lows, you got to soak in those highs too, right? Congratulations, Genevieve. Thank you for joining us. Genevieve Morrison joining us here in studio, Pan Am Games gold medalist. Do you want to hold up your medal?
Yeah.
Congratulations.